Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're looking into some pretty important changes in Georgia notary law, specifically about keeping journals.
Right. This comes from a recent live stream LaDarrell Worf did, kind of outlining things for the notary community there.
Exactly. So think of this as, getting you up to speed. We want to make sure everyone understands these updates, stays compliant, and, well, feels confident.
Yeah, our goal is pretty straightforward. Clarify the new journal law, cut through any potential confusion, and give you some solid practical steps.
Let's dive in.
Mm.
The big topic is this 2025 Georgia Notary Journal Law update.
Mm-hmm. And the headline really is the new requirement to use your journal for what they're calling self-filers.
Okay, self-filers. We need to unpack that. What exactly does that mean in this context?
Good question. So a self-filer is basically someone who's filing their own real estate documents directly. They're not using an attorney. They're not going through a bank or title company rep, just them.
Oh, okay. So it's very specific then. It's not every single notarization.
Precisely. That's the key distinction. If you're working with, say, an agent from a bank or an attorney or someone from a title company, this mandatory journal entry requirement under the new rule doesn't apply.
But, and this seems important, the advice is still to log everything,
Yeah.
right, as a best practice.
Absolutely, 100%. It's just smart practice protects you better. So while the law mandates it for self-filers, wisdom suggests doing it for all notarizations.
Which brings us to the next point, getting the interpretation right. It sounds like there's a risk of misinformation spreading.
Definitely. The source really emphasized this. You might even hear something slightly off from, say, a clerk's office. Not intentionally misleading, perhaps, but maybe incomplete.
So the message is, don't just rely on hearsay.
Exactly. You really need to read the actual legal update yourself. Understand that definition of self-filer inside and out, because getting that wrong is where the problems start.
And those problems, they relate directly to protecting your commission, don't they?
They do. This update gives clerks the power to subpoena notary journals, especially when deeds are filed electronically.
Okay, so what happens if your journal entry for one of these required self-filer situations is missing something? Or worse, the whole entry is missing.
Well, that's where it gets serious. You could face warnings, potentially fines, and even decommissioning, losing your ability to be a notary.
Wow. So the takeaway is be thorough every single time, even if you know the person signing.
Especially then sometimes. Familiarity can make you complacent. Log everything: date, time, type of notarization, signer's name, how you identified them, all those key fields.
Speaking of fields, what are the absolute essentials? And are there, like, bonus things people track?
Yeah, the law spells out the required fields. Things like date, type of act, signer's name and address, how you verified identity.
Yeah.
But some notaries add extra notes, maybe contact info for marketing follow-up, that kind of thing. It can be a business tool too.
What about that personal knowledge exception? How does that work with the journal?
Right. If you personally know the signer well, the identification method part changes slightly. You might just note personal knowledge instead of recording ID details. But you still log the notarization itself.
And thumbprints. I know they come up sometimes.
They do. Not mandatory in Georgia, but definitely an extra layer of security you can add if you choose. Some notaries swear by them.
Okay, shifting focus a bit. The source also talked about redefining what success looks like for a notary. It wasn't just about the money.
No, it wasn't. It was more about these micro wins. Things like helping out another notary who's stuck, or just being consistent with your work, building that community feeling.
Yeah, I caught that. There was a mention of a specific income goal, like $2,500 a month, but it was balanced, wasn't it?
It was balanced with wanting freedom, actually enjoying the work, feeling like you're making a difference for people. It's a more holistic view of success, you know?
Makes sense. So let's quickly recap the core strategy points here. Number one, know the difference between self-filers, where the journal is now required, and signings involving attorneys or institutions, where it's recommended but not mandated by this specific update.
Right. And number two, when in doubt, just journal it. Err on the side of caution. It's far safer. The biggest risk isn't the law itself, it's misunderstanding it.
Good point. And use that journal proactively, right? Track clients, maybe ask for reviews later, see where your business comes from.
Exactly. And that networking tip was interesting too, offering a bit of extra help to attorneys, like being an extra witness if needed. Small things can build big relationships.
And for those just starting out,
The advice was practical. Set small, achievable goals, like aim for 10 paid signings in your first 90 days. Reach out proactively to scheduling companies. Build confidence. Connect with people.
okay, so summing it all up, understand the self-filer rule. Read the law yourself. Use your journal consistently for compliance and as a business tool.
That's the heart of it. Being informed, being thorough.
And maybe think about this. These changes, while they require attention, could also be your chance to really demonstrate your professionalism and build trust. How can you use this understanding to strengthen your notary practice? Something to think about. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.